Here's something almost no appointment has time to explain. Every single night while you sleep, your kidneys are doing some of the most important work your body performs all day. They're filtering your blood, they're regulating your blood pressure, and they're clearing out the metabolic waste that quietly accumulated inside you during your waking hours. And here's the part that surprises most people. What you eat in the hour or two before bed has a direct, measurable influence on how well that overnight process actually goes. Most kidney conversations focus entirely on what you need to take away. Less sodium, less potassium, less phosphorus, and yes, all of that genuinely matters. But there is an equally important and rarely discussed side of the story. What can you actively add to support your kidneys while they work through the night? Tonight, I'm walking you through one specific fruit, along with a handful of powerful companions, all recognized as kidney-friendly by major kidney health organizations, that deliver real antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and kidney-supportive benefits specifically suited to nighttime consumption. Before we start, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss videos like this. And drop a comment. Where are you watching from, and what time is it there right now? I read every single one. Stay with me right through to the number one fruit, because it comes with a catch almost no other video mentions, and it's information you genuinely need to have before you eat it. Let me start with how your kidneys actually work. I'm Dr. Mike. I've spent more than 15 years in internal medicine, and I want to take just 2 minutes to explain something that will make everything else in this video make far more sense. Your kidneys are two fist-sized organs sitting just below your rib cage, one on either side of your spine. Together, they filter roughly 200 liters of blood every single day, about 50 gallons, removing waste, excess fluid, toxins, and metabolic byproducts, and returning clean, balanced blood back into your circulation. That's an enormous workload, and much of the fine-tuning happens while you're asleep and completely unaware of it. Now, here is the fundamental tension in kidney-healthy eating, and once you understand it, everything about tonight's fruit choices will click into place. Potassium is an essential nutrient that helps the body function properly, supporting your nerves, your muscles, and your heart. However, people with kidney disease can develop dangerously high levels of potassium, a condition called hyperkalemia, if they consume too much, because damaged kidneys may simply not be able to remove the excess efficiently. So on one hand, your kidneys desperately need antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds from food to reduce the chronic inflammation that drives disease progression. But on the other hand, many of the richest sources of those very compounds, like bananas, oranges, and kiwi, are also high-potassium foods that challenge a weakened kidney's ability to filter properly. The fruits I'm covering today represent the solution to that tension. They deliver real kidney-supportive nutrition, antioxidants, vitamins, fiber, and anti-inflammatory compounds, without the potassium burden that makes other fruits genuinely risky in kidney disease. So let's get into it, starting with the single most important one. The number one bedtime fruit and the star of everything I'm about to tell you is tart cherries. This is the fruit most uniquely suited to nighttime consumption of anything I could possibly put on a list like this, and the research behind it comes from some of the most credible sources in all of kidney medicine. Tart cherries contain phytomelatonin, a plant-based antioxidant that may contribute to a healthy circadian cycle, meaning it helps regulate the natural rhythm of your sleep. Sour tart cherries are specifically classified as a low-potassium food, with less than 200 milligrams per 3.5 ounces, and they contain only trace amounts of sodium and are low in phosphorus. That combination is rare and valuable. In fact, cherries can be included in a diet for all stages of kidney disease. Here's why this matters so specifically at night, and I want you to really hear this part. Your kidneys regulate your blood pressure partly through a rhythm tied directly to your sleep cycle. Your blood pressure is supposed to drop while you sleep, a natural pattern doctors call nocturnal dipping. When your sleep is disrupted, that healthy drop doesn't happen the way it should, and your kidneys end up absorbing hours of sustained higher pressure that slowly causes damage over time, night after night, year after year. Research confirms that melatonin, serotonin, tryptophan, and the natural phytochemicals in tart cherries may improve sleep quality by reducing inflammation and oxidative stress, with evidence that these compounds help regulate both your non-REM and REM sleep stages. A pilot study of older adults living with insomnia found that tart cherry juice produced significant reductions in insomnia severity compared to a placebo, with effect sizes comparable to some of the most widely used natural sleep interventions available. Think about what that chain of benefit actually means. Better sleep leads to better nocturnal blood pressure control, which leads to less overnight pressure stress on the delicate filtering vessels inside your kidneys. That entire chain of benefit is real, and it is documented. So what should you actually do? Have half a cup to 1 cup of tart cherries, or 4 to 8 ounces of unsweetened tart cherry juice 30 to 60 minutes before bed. And this part is critical. Choose sour or Montmorency varieties specifically. Sweet cherries are classified as high potassium and are a completely different consideration entirely, so don't confuse the two. Now, tart cherries work even better when you build a small supporting cast around them, so let me walk you through the companions that make this bedtime routine complete. The first companion is blueberries. This is one of the most well-researched superfoods in all of modern nutrition, and it happens to be ideal for kidneys specifically. Blueberries are a source of fiber, vitamin C, vitamin K, and powerful antioxidants. A half-cup serving contains less than 150 milligrams of potassium, making them a genuinely low-potassium choice. They're also low in sodium and phosphorus, which makes them suitable for a kidney-friendly diet, and they are safe to eat for all stages of kidney disease and all dialysis types. The specific compounds that make blueberries so valuable for your kidneys are their anthocyanins, the same family of anti-inflammatory polyphenols we discussed in tart cherries, but present here in different proportions and working through slightly different mechanisms. Research has found that consuming 3 servings per week of blueberries or strawberries has been associated with meaningful reductions in cardiovascular disease risk through those anthocyanin mechanisms, and this is directly relevant to kidney health, because cardiovascular disease and kidney disease share the same underlying inflammatory pathway and very frequently progress together, side by side. For adults over 60, this overlapping benefit matters enormously. You're protecting your kidney health and your heart health from the very same dietary addition, without adding any meaningful potassium burden. That's exactly the kind of efficiency a kidney-friendly diet is looking for. A half cup of blueberries is the perfect bedtime portion. Fresh, frozen, and freeze-dried varieties all preserve their antioxidant content remarkably well. The second companion is strawberries, one of the sweetest natural options you could possibly choose and one of the most kidney-compatible fruits in existence. Strawberries are a good source of vitamin C, manganese, folate, and antioxidants, and they're very low in calories, just 28 per half cup. They are a low-potassium food, containing only 130 milligrams per half cup. They're also low in sodium and phosphorus, making them a strong choice for all stages of chronic kidney disease, including both hemodialysis and peritoneal dialysis. That 130 milligram figure is one of the lowest of any fruit on the planet, which makes strawberries one of the safest choices even for people with more advanced kidney disease who are on strict potassium limits. A clinical study found that dietary strawberry supplementation produced significant increases in plasma antioxidant capacity and glutathione levels compared to control groups. Those are markers of reduced oxidative stress, and they relate directly to kidney health, since oxidative stress is one of the primary drivers of chronic kidney disease progression. At night specifically, strawberries also deliver natural melatonin precursors and tryptophan, not at the concentrated level of tart cherries, but enough to contribute to a relaxed, sleep-supportive effect as part of a light evening snack. Have half a cup of fresh or frozen strawberries, kept whole and rinsed just before eating to maximize their freshness. For an even more satisfying bedtime option, pair them with a small amount of unsweetened plain yogurt for a complete kidney-friendly evening snack. The third companion is the humble apple, the most universally available kidney-friendly fruit there is, and honestly the most underestimated. Apples are rich in antioxidants and fiber and are low in potassium, phosphorus, and sodium, which makes them an excellent kidney-friendly choice. And here's a detail most people never hear. Eating the peel gives you 2 to 6 times the antioxidant power of eating the flesh alone. Apples are a good source of vitamin C and may help control blood sugar when you choose them over fruit juices. They are safe to eat for all kidney conditions and treatments. For adults over 60 who are managing both kidney disease and blood sugar together, an extremely common combination, the blood sugar stabilizing effect of a whole apple at bedtime has genuine practical value. The fiber in the apple slows down glucose absorption, which reduces the overnight blood sugar fluctuation that can complicate kidney function while you sleep. There's also a specific kidney stone connection worth knowing about. Adequate hydration and dietary management, including citrate-containing foods, help prevent the most common type of kidney stone, calcium oxalate. Apples contain malic acid, a compound related to citrate metabolism, which contributes to an alkaline urine environment that is generally more protective against stone formation than acidic urine. So have one medium apple with the peel left on, eaten slowly as part of your evening routine. The peel is where most of the antioxidant and fiber benefit actually lives, so peeling it removes the majority of what makes it valuable. Pair it with cinnamon if you enjoy it, and choose Ceylon cinnamon specifically because it has blood sugar stabilization benefits that stack beautifully with the apple's own fiber effect. The fourth companion is grapes, and this is one that many people with kidney disease are genuinely surprised to learn is considered kidney-friendly. Grapes are classified as a low-potassium fruit choice, grouped right alongside apples, blueberries, cranberries, pears, pineapple, raspberries, and strawberries as lower potassium options, in contrast to the high-potassium fruits like bananas, melons, oranges, and kiwi. The compound that makes grapes particularly notable is resveratrol, a polyphenol concentrated in the skin of red and purple grapes, working alongside the flavonoids that give grapes their deep, rich coloring. That red pigmentation comes from flavonoids, which may help reduce the risk of blood clots, a relevant benefit for kidney patients who are already at higher cardiovascular risk. Here's a wonderfully practical detail. Grapes can even be frozen and eaten as a thirst-quenching measure for patients on fluid restriction. Many kidney disease patients are on fluid restrictions, and finding a satisfying, cool, hydrating snack that doesn't add a significant fluid burden can be genuinely difficult. Frozen grapes solve that problem elegantly. They take longer to eat, they feel cooling and hydrating, and they deliver real antioxidant benefits without adding the fluid volume that a glass of water or juice would. Have a small handful of red or purple grapes, roughly half a cup, as a bedtime snack. If you're on a fluid restriction, freeze them first and eat them slowly. Red and purple varieties consistently deliver more resveratrol and anthocyanin benefits than green grapes do. The fifth companion is raspberries, which might just be the highest fiber option for its size, and fiber turns out to matter far more for kidney health than most people ever realize. Raspberries are specifically listed as a low-potassium fruit choice in kidney dietary guidance, right alongside blueberries, strawberries, and grapes. Half a cup of raspberries contains roughly 4 grams of fiber, which is double what you'd get from most other fruits in the same serving size. That fiber content matters for your kidneys through 2 distinct pathways. First, fiber feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, which in turn produce short-chain fatty acids that reduce systemic inflammation, the very same chronic inflammation that drives kidney disease progression forward. A healthier gut microbiome is increasingly recognized in kidney research as being directly connected to slower chronic kidney disease progression. Second, fiber slows the absorption of all the nutrients consumed alongside it, including phosphorus from other foods in your evening meal. Since phosphorus management is one of the core challenges in a kidney disease diet, a fiber-rich fruit eaten alongside or shortly after dinner creates a mild but genuinely meaningful protective effect on your post-meal phosphorus absorption. So have half a cup of fresh or frozen raspberries as a bedtime snack. Frozen raspberries are often more affordable and just as nutritionally complete as fresh ones. Mix them together with a small portion of tart cherries for a bedtime berry combination that stacks multiple kidney-supportive benefits together in one bowl. The sixth companion surprises people most often because it's acidic, tropical, and doesn't fit the typical mental image of a kidney-protective food at all. I'm talking about pineapple. Pineapple is a recommended low-potassium fruit for kidney patients, with 1 serving equaling half a cup of juice or 1 small portion of fresh fruit. Kidney dietary guidance classifies it as a low-potassium choice, making it one of the safer tropical fruit options for people who need to carefully manage their potassium intake. What makes pineapple particularly interesting for kidney health is bromelain, a natural enzyme found in fresh pineapple that has documented anti-inflammatory properties. Bromelain has been studied for its potential to reduce inflammatory markers, and since kidney disease progression is driven so heavily by chronic inflammation, any natural anti-inflammatory that fits within a kidney-friendly nutritional profile is absolutely worth knowing about. There's also a practical sleep connection here. Fresh pineapple contains tryptophan, the same amino acid precursor to serotonin and melatonin that contributes to a more relaxed, sleepy state when consumed in the evening. It's not a sedative effect, but it contributes to a more natural winding down pattern when eaten as part of an evening routine. Have half a cup of fresh pineapple cut into chunks or spears as a light evening snack, And this matters. Fresh pineapple retains significantly more bromelain than canned pineapple, which is typically heat processed in a way that destroys most of the enzyme content. Choose fresh whenever you possibly can for that anti-inflammatory benefit. Now, before I give you the final combination, here's the one with a catch I promised you at the very beginning. And the catch is real. Cranberries have been associated with kidney and urinary tract health for decades, and there is genuine research behind that connection. But there are two very specific things that most videos about cranberries and kidneys get completely wrong, and I want to give you an accurate, honest picture of both. Cranberry products may decrease the overall risk of recurrent urinary tract infections in women who have had previous UTIs, and regulators have allowed manufacturers to claim limited evidence for this benefit on product labels. The mechanism is thought to involve proanthocyanidins, or PACs, in cranberries that prevent bacteria from sticking to the bladder wall. However, and this is important, cranberry products do not treat existing UTIs. While some research suggests they may help prevent them, there isn't enough evidence to be certain, and they do not treat existing bladder or kidney infections. So the honest picture on cranberries is this. The UTI prevention benefit is real, but it's modest, and it applies specifically to certain populations. It is not a treatment for an active infection, and the evidence is described as limited and inconsistent even for prevention. Now here's the catch that's specific to kidney health. And this is the part you really need. Raw cranberries are extremely tart and are almost never eaten plain. So cranberry products marketed for health, the juice cocktails, the sweetened dried cranberries, and the flavored cranberry supplements very often contain enormous amounts of added sugar. Sugar-sweetened beverages are linked to an increased risk of kidney disease. So a cranberry juice cocktail marketed as being good for your kidneys can simultaneously contain enough sugar to actively work against them. The benefit lives in the unsweetened whole cranberry form, not in the sweetened products that most people actually reach for on the shelf. So what should you do if you want to use cranberries for kidney health? Choose unsweetened 100% cranberry juice, unsweetened dried cranberries in small portions, or raw or frozen whole cranberries. Avoid the cranberry juice cocktails and the sweetened cranberry supplements entirely. And if you think you have an active UTI or a kidney infection, please see a doctor, because cranberries do not treat infections. One more important caution. There is conflicting evidence about whether cranberry interacts with the anticoagulant warfarin. So if you take a blood thinner, mention your cranberry use to your pharmacist before making it a daily habit. Now that you know the star and all of its companions, let me give you a simple combination you can actually make tonight. Take a small bowl and combine half a cup of tart cherries, a handful of blueberries, and 3 to 4 fresh strawberries. That single bowl delivers phytomelatonin for sleep and nocturnal blood pressure support, anthocyanins for anti-inflammatory kidney protection, vitamin C for immune and tissue health, fiber for gut microbiome support and phosphorus moderation, and it stays low enough in potassium to be suitable at all stages of kidney disease. No supplements, no prescriptions, no complicated preparation, just 3 kidney-verified fruits in a bowl, eaten 30 to 60 minutes before bed. If you want to add a liquid component, a small glass of unsweetened tart cherry juice, alongside this combination, is the closest thing to a genuinely research-backed kidney bedtime tonic available from whole food sources anywhere. Now let me talk about when to call your doctor, because this genuinely matters. Every fruit I've described is classified as kidney-friendly in general terms, but general terms are not individual terms. If you are at an advanced stage of chronic kidney disease, stage 4 or 5, your potassium and phosphorus limits may be strict enough that even low potassium fruits need to be counted carefully within a specific daily budget. Your kidney dietitian is the right person to tell you exactly how much of any of these fruits fits your individual dietary prescription. In the early stages of kidney disease, there's usually no need to limit potassium unless your blood levels are high. But in later stages or complete kidney failure, a doctor or kidney dietitian may recommend much stricter limits. And if you haven't had a kidney function test recently, and you're over 60, that is absolutely worth requesting at your next appointment. A basic metabolic panel includes creatinine, eGFR, and electrolytes including potassium, the 4 numbers that together give you a clear starting picture of exactly where your kidneys stand right now. You simply cannot make truly informed dietary choices for your kidneys without knowing those numbers first. Let me tell you about a patient of mine, Carol, 72 years old, managing stage 2 chronic kidney disease with a secondary concern of poor sleep and frequent UTIs. When we reviewed her diet together, I discovered she had cut out almost all fruit entirely, out of a reasonable but drastically over-applied fear that fruit meant potassium, and potassium meant risk. What she'd actually done, without realizing it, was eliminate the single primary source of antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, and sleep-supportive nutrients from her entire evening routine. So we rebuilt her evening fruit intake together, carefully guided by the kidney-friendly fruit list. Tart cherries before bed for sleep and overnight blood pressure support, blueberries and strawberries for antioxidant coverage, and unsweetened whole cranberries 3 times a week for UTI prevention support. Within 6 weeks, her sleep had improved noticeably. Her UTIs, which had been occurring almost monthly, had not recurred in 2 full months. And at her quarterly kidney function check, her markers had remained stable, which is the realistic near-term goal at stage 2. She told me at her next visit that the biggest surprise of all was how satisfying the bedtime fruit routine had become. It felt like something she was adding to her health, rather than another thing being taken away from her. And that single shift in mindset made it far easier to maintain than any purely restrictive dietary change she had ever tried before in her life. Now I need to be clear with you. Everything in this video is educational information based on published research and kidney health guidance. It is not personalized medical advice. No dietary change should ever replace your kidney dietitian's individualized recommendations. If you have advanced chronic kidney disease, if you're on dialysis, if you take blood thinners, or if you've been given specific dietary restrictions by your healthcare provider, always confirm any new food addition with your care team before making it a regular habit. So here's your simple action plan for what to do tonight. Number 1, tart cherries, half a cup to 1 cup of the sour or Montmorency variety, or unsweetened tart cherry juice, 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Number 2, blueberries, half a cup, fresh or frozen, as a bedtime snack. Number 3, strawberries, half a cup, containing that remarkably low 130 milligrams of potassium per serving, safe for all CKD stages. Number 4, an apple, 1 medium apple with the peel left on for fiber, blood sugar stabilization, and antioxidants. Number 5, grapes, a small handful of red or purple varieties, or freeze them if you're on a fluid restriction. Number 6, raspberries, half a cup, the highest fiber fruit here for gut microbiome and anti-inflammatory benefits. Number 7, pineapple, half a cup of fresh pineapple only, never canned, for bromelain's anti-inflammatory benefits. And number 8, cranberries, unsweetened only for UTI prevention support, and check with your pharmacist first if you're taking warfarin. Build a simple bedtime bowl starting with just fruits 1, 2, and 3 tonight. Then, introduce the others one at a time over the following week, so you can genuinely notice how your body responds to each addition along the way. So here's what's next. If you're going to make the bedtime kidney bowl tonight, tell me in the comments which 3 fruits you're starting with. I read every single one, and I love seeing where everyone is beginning their journey. If this kind of real, well-sourced, honest information is what you want more of, then subscribe. I release new videos every single week covering what the research actually says about kidney health and healthy aging after 60. I'm Dr. Mike, and my next video covers the 5 everyday drinks that are quietly raising your creatinine, including one that is marketed specifically as a health drink. You do not want to miss that one. I'll see you right there. Take care of those kidneys tonight, and I'll talk to you very soon.